Nobody believed in him. Not Antony, not the Senate, not the battle-hardened veterans, not even his own mother. He was 18 years old, sickly, weak, the kind of soft, aristocratic kid who will never survive one day in Roman politics, let alone a civil war. But here is what they didn't understand about Octavian. He wasn't trying to outfight anyone. He was trying to outthink them. Because while grown men were screaming, threatening, and flexing their military muscles, this teenager was playing a game nobody else even knew existed. And by the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late. This is the story of how the kid nobody respected became the man nobody could touch, how he turned Caesar's name into the most powerful weapon in Rome, and how he did something Caesar never managed. He made Romans beg him to be their king without ever calling himself one. Rome, 43 BC. Octavian been in the city for months, demanding his inheritance from Caesar's will. Money, property, the loyalty of Caesar's soldiers. Mark Antony, Caesar's right-hand man, the guy who gave that funeral speech, is blocking him at every turn. "You're a child," Antony says publicly. "Go back to your studies. Adults are handling Rome now." It's humiliating, disrespectful, designed to make Octavian look weak. And Octavian, he doesn't argue, doesn't throw tantrums, doesn't challenge Antony to duels or public debates. He just starts quietly visiting Caesar's veterans. One camp at a time, one soldier at a time. "Caesar chose me as his heir. He could have picked anyone, Antony, his generals, men with decades of experience, but he picked me. Don't you think that means something?" These are hardened men, veterans of Gaul, men who crossed the Rubicon, who have seen horrors that would break most people. And they are listening to this kid. Why? Because Octavian is not asking them to follow him. He is asking them to honor Caesar's final wish. It's brilliant manipulation, disguised as loyalty. Octavian starts paying bonuses to veterans. Small amounts. He went ahead borrowing money from family, friends, anyone who will lend. But the gesture matters. "I am Caesar's son, and I take care of Caesar's men." Slowly, legions start shifting their loyalty. Antony notices, and he becomes furious. The Senate sees an opportunity. They hate Antony, too powerful, too aggressive, too much like Caesar. But Octavian, he's young, controllable. So they give Octavian an army and tell him to fight Antony. 43 BC, their armies face each other, about to clash. Then Octavian does something unexpected. He sends messengers to Antony. "Let's talk." They meet privately. "We're fighting the wrong war," Octavian says. "Brutus and Cassius killed Caesar. They are in the east raising armies, and we are fighting each other. The Senate's playing us." Antony's skeptical, but Octavian's got leverage now: legions, money, Caesar's name. They make a deal, bring in a third man, Lepidus, and form the Second Triumvirate. Official, legal, they split Rome 3 ways and grant themselves absolute power. Their first act, proscriptions. Kill lists, thousands of names, political enemies, anyone who supported the assassins. One name shocks everyone: Cicero, the great orator, defender of the Republic. Antony wants him dead for writing speeches attacking him. Octavian objects weakly, but lets it happen. Because Octavian's learning. Sometimes you sacrifice a pieces to win the game. Cicero's caught trying to flee. They cut off his head and hands the voice and the pen that opposed them. The Republic's officially dead now. 42 BC, Philippi, Greece. The Triumvirate faces Brutus and Cassius in 2 massive battles. Antony does most of the fighting. Octavian's sick, staying in his tent. His enemies mock him. Caesar's heir can't even show up. But the second battle, decisive, Antony crushes them. Cassius orders his slave to kill him, thinking all is lost. Brutus survives briefly, then realizes it is over. His last words, Virtue, I followed you my whole life, but you were only a word. He folds on his sword. Caesar's assassins are all dead. The Triumvirate controls everything. But alliances built on ambition don't last. Lepidus gets pushed aside, stripped of power. Now it's just Antony and Octavian, two men, one empire. They split it. Antony takes the wealthy east. Octavian takes Italy and the west. Antony goes to Egypt, falls in love with Cleopatra Caesar's Cleopatra. They have children, build a life. Antony starts acting like an Egyptian pharaoh. Rome hates it. And Octavian, he is watching, building his case. While Antony parties in Egypt, Octavian is in Rome fixing aqueducts, settling veterans, rebuilding. Boring, but it wins hearts. Octavian launches propaganda. Antony abandoned Rome for a foreign queen. He is a traitor. The Senate declares war on Cleopatra, not Antony directly. But Antony has to fight anyway. 31 BC, Battle of Actium. Octavian fleet versus Antony and Cleopatra forces. Antony's troops desert, switch sides. It was over before it really starts. Cleopatra flees. Antony follows her to Egypt. 30 BC, Octavian arrives in Alexandria. Antony, hearing false rumors Cleopatra's dead, stabs himself, dies in her arms. Cleopatra tries negotiating with Octavian, tries seduction. Octavian's not interested, cold, calculating. Cleopatra realizes she will be paraded through Rome in chains, humiliated. So she takes her own life, poison, maybe a snake. Octavian is the last man standing. He is 33, controls the entire Roman world. 29 BC, Octavian returns to Rome victorious. The Senate showers him with honors. But Octavian is smarter than Caesar. He doesn't want to look like a tyrant. So in 27 BC, he offers to give up all his powers, restore the Republic. The Senate panics. No, Rome needs you. Octavian reluctantly agrees. They grant him a new title. Augustus, the revered one. Not dictator, not king, just a humble servant who happens to control everything. The Republic is dead, but Octavian makes Romans think it still exists. He created the Roman Empire, and he will rule for 41 years of peace and prosperity. All because an 18-year-old nobody played the longest game in history. Caesar conquered with swords. Augustus conquered with patience. And he won.